Gaming Albino.
What's up everyone, I'm the Gaming Albino. It's been a crazy couple years, but I've almost made a list for every single Mario Kart game. That is except for Super Mario Kart on the Super NES. But we're not looking at that game today, we're looking at Mario Kart DS on the DS. Mario Kart DS was released back in 2005 and is widely considered one of the best games in the franchise. It introduced retro tracks, mission modes, and online play. Probably introduced other things too, but I really don't remember. But you already know everything about the game. Let's just get into the countdown. As a warning, there will be no retro tracks on this list. Without further hesitation, let's get in my top 10 Mario Kart DS Tracks. Number 10. It's the track the entire game leads up to. You make your way through 4 cups and 16 tracks, and it all comes down to this. And what do I think of it? Like, it's certainly not the worst Rainbow Road, but it certainly didn't excite me either. Mostly just feels the same with the boost pads everywhere and sharp turns without barriers. However, I applaud the track for including the first ever loop-de-loop and a corkscrew in a Mario Kart game. These are a few of the things that blew me away the first time I played the game. There are still lots of enjoyable amounts of challenge to the track, but at points it does feel a little dull. When I think about it, it doesn't even look that entertaining going through the loop. I'm going so fast, whee! And for those reasons, I give it the number 10 spot on my list. Number 9. DK Pass. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you'll know the DK tracks are some of my most favorite. You might be disappointed to see that I only put DK Pass at number 9 on this list. I don't know if it's the controls, the traction, or the rolling snowballs, but I just suck at this track. By no means is it bad. It just feels difficult and at the same time a bit dull for a DK track. Starting the race, you'll drive up a hill what feels like an eternity just dodging snowballs. From atop the mountain, you don't really see much, just snow. And the way down, I feel, is the most difficult because the giant snowballs are moving so slow it's really hard to avoid them. I'm just thankful by the end of the race these snowmen aren't moving too. Otherwise I'd be really screwed. Feels a bit dull, but overall this is a pretty cool track. A pretty cool track. A cool track. Number 8. Shroom Ridge. Typically I hate traffic-based courses, but I happen to really enjoy this one. Unlike other city-based tracks, there's usually too many cars. This one has just the right amount of traffic where it feels organic and a part of the track instead of like they're just annoying obstacles. The curves are smooth, making it great for drifting, but with all the turns it's pretty hard to see what's coming up ahead. And I love the end of the track where you're on the side of a giant cliff. You see the finish line in the distance, which really gets you excited. You become anxious and want to finish the lap, but a car comes from around the corner and robs you of that first place position. This track is really fun and provides a nice amount of challenge. Number 7.
Hello?
As soon as Luigi's Mansion came out in 2001, I eagerly anticipated a track based on this amazing game. And Mario Kart DS came out and I saw footage of this track and I was like, oh, take my credit card, take my library card, take all of it. I just need this game, Nintendo. I get a DS and open up the Mushroom Cup with a giant smile on my face as I see the opening clip. My excitement grows as I drive up into the mansion. It looks amazing. And I'm out of the mansion. What? We're going back, right? Keep driving outside and you see the finish line. It's called Luigi's Mansion. Not Luigi's dining room and creepy, disgusting yard filled with mud and you know, whatever the hell those are. How do I feel about this track? It's alright. It's good. Like number 7 good. Just really disappointed that more of it didn't take place in the actual mansion. There were so many rooms in the original game that had so much potential to make this track amazing. At least this track paved way for better mansion tracks in the future. Number 6. Bowser's Castle. The DS version of Bowser's Castle is one of the shortest in the series, but also happens to be one of my favorites. With a lap time around 50 seconds, they cram an awful lot into this track. It starts out like any other by immediately entering the castle and avoiding a few thwomps, followed by some sharp turns and rotating platforms. What I really like about this track is I feel this one really tests your skills and let you have lots of fun while you're doing it. There's a rotating pillar that can really hinder your position in the race if you fall off. With so many pieces of the track moving all the time, it reminds me of playing a Mario platformer. This track is great and well deserving of the number 5 spot. Number 5. When playing the game for the first time, you look through all the selections and see which kind of tracks you can play. And think about how amazing they'll be just by reading the names. Like Rainbow Road, Luigi's Mansion, Airship Fortress, and then there's Peach Gardens. Peach's Garden. How does that possibly sound like a fun track? Peach's Gardens? Yeah, that'll be fun. Then you actually start playing the track, hearing the relaxing music and seeing all the colorful flowers. But then you make it through the finish line, you think, wow, that was really fun. There doesn't need to be many hazards or huge jumps to make a track really fun, and Peach Gardens is perfect proof of that. Delfino Square. I loved exploring Delfino Plaza in Super Mario Sunshine, and it's even more fun racing through it in this game. Unlike other tracks, this one gives you exactly what you would expect. Sharp 90-degree turns, narrow passageways. It feels almost like driving through Venice. If Venice had pixelated 480 aspect ratio and inhabited by these things, then yeah, exactly like Venice. Like Peach's Garden, there's really no hazards in this track. Just being based on one of the most iconic settings in the Mario franchise, it's certainly enough to make this track interesting. The music is upbeat, the colors are amazing, and it just really feels like being in Super Mario Sunshine all over again. Number 3. Airship Fortress. I love when a track feels like an adventure, and that's exactly what Airship Fortress is. Right from the start, bullets are shot straight into your direction. After a few turns, you board one of the flying ships, watching out for Monty moles. You race past them into the barracks of the ship, where crates are littered all over the floor and fire rains from the ceiling. From there, you'll be shot out of a cannon right into a beaten down old tower. You spiral down onto the crumbling road and reach the finish. With all the devastation, bullets, fire, everything crumbling apart, it's exactly like driving through Detroit. Joking aside, I'm glad the game could scrap the idea of those friendly looking ships in the newer games, and bring us back to the roots of Super Mario Bros. 3, when we actually feared these things. The atmosphere is dark, the music is creepy, and all around, just an awesome track. Number 2. Tick-Tock Clock. From what I said about Bowser's Castle, I love platforming games. And this next track is taken directly from one of my favorite platforming games of all time. Tick-Tock Clock is how I imagine the real Tick-Tock Clock being if you could drive through it. What I love so much about this track is that you have to keep in mind everything moving. And if you know this course well enough, you can use all these moving parts to your advantage. Well, all of them except that stupid pendulum. You'll always think, I got enough time. There's enough space. Nope. I swear, a soccer team should hire this thing as their goalie because they would never lose.
Yes, he can just. Today's Brenner again, and somehow...
My favorite part is when you race down these gears and you have to drive with the rotation in order to get the fastest speed. And if you fail at doing that, you still have these 2 gears to help you at the finish line get that extra boost. It's because of these mechanics that I love this track, but not quite as much as... Number 1. Waluigi Pinball. I know it's cliche to have this on top of everyone's list, but it's number 1 for a reason. Right off the bat, I'll give you a minute to enjoy the music. It's so catchy. Alright, normally I don't like when you begin a track by being shot through a cannon. Feels overdone and a bit lazy. But I really like it in this track because it makes you feel like you're the actual pinball ball. Pinball ball. Is that right? Pinball ball. The game's called Pinball. That makes it a pinball ball. Pinball balls. Anyway, you blast to the very top of the machine and work your way through many smooth turns. Makes this track great for drifting. On your way down, you have to avoid pinball balls that roll on track with you. Around a few more turns, you reach the peak of the track. All the pinball balls have come to this main area, and you can play it safe by driving out to the side and avoiding danger. But if you're anything like me, you'll know the risk is worth the award and drive straight through, saving lots of time and getting you past all the competition. It just requires accurate calculations and perfect precision. E equals MC squared. And it all leads back to the Kennedy assassination. Oh, son of a... Once you expertly get past all the pinball balls, you've reached the finish. This track is so good because it actually makes you feel as if you're in a pinball machine. And that's why I love Mario Kart. Nintendo can make a track out of anything, and I'll play it with great enthusiasm. With moderate enthusiasm. Great track, great game, and if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and make sure to leave a comment about your opinion below. I'm the Gaming Albino. Bye-bye.